My name is Joe K. Sturgeon. I was a U.S. Marine and served in Korea. I was put out to pasture by my company in September of 1985, and then it took me 5 years to get a diagnosis. My company sent me to many doctors, and one doctor was a psychiatrist and said it was all in my head. I had a high IQ in the Marine Corps, and without college I was pulled out during boot camp and offered OCS or NAVCAD, flying jets. My enlistment was for 2 years, and I would have to ship over for 4 years. I'd already had enough. In Korea, the CO called me in and made the offer again, and I would be sent back to the States. Again, I said no. In each video, there will be links added which will include websites with current information that will verify and document my findings that I have put together. And most of my information I developed and put together back in the early 90s. And it's still good today. In fact, it's documented by a lot of companies, people, doctors, as to exactly what I'm doing. The only thing they haven't come up with is how to get rid of the cause of the autoimmune diseases. Now, on this video, we're going to talk about kinesiology. Way back when, in the early 90s, I decided that this was not just kinesiology, it was applied kinesiology. And I learned to check things like mercury, lead, stress, lupus, neurotransmitters, and aluminum. Believe it or not, I've determined that aluminum is a greater toxin than even mercury and lead. In doing applied kinesiology, or body energy, you can call it what you want, a chiropractor once told me when I was learning, if the truth were known, anybody can do this if they just want to. Muscle testing is quite common, and that's what we used to call it. I use an energy stick. It has several distinct advantages. First of all, you can check yourself and others. You can check others on the phone. You can check babies. You can check anyone who cannot raise their arms and are disabled. Of course, you can still be checked medically, and there are additional tests than the ones I listed. There's quite a few more than when I started this years ago. And how do you make an energy stick? I used a section of my fiberglass fishing pole, and it broke after I made it in the early 90s, and it finally broke on me recently, so I went out and I found another fishing pole, and this is how you make it. I cut the top part off, about 23 inches long, and then I got a dowel about 3 inches long, and I drilled a hole in it to accommodate the size of this stick, and there you have it. But you need to glue it in, because otherwise it might fly off when you're using it. There's quite a bit of force to this when you get going and use it. You have to take off the eye guides on the fishing pole. They won't work when you leave them on. Okay, you drill a hole about 1 inch to 1.5 inches down into the stick, and then you super glue it and let it dry. You'll see in the video how to use it, and you need to practice and visualize what you are trying to determine. You hold the stick in your hand. I'm right-handed, so I put my thumb up here on the top, and whenever you want, like my name is Joe, is my name Sandra, and stop. That's a no. Okay, when you use the stick, it will spin when you're holding it, so you might have to hold it tighter than depending on how much it spins with you. When you're checking a person, I usually put my thumb right here on this nerve center at the wrist, and it generally gives me a good contact, and that's all you have to do is to touch somebody like that. And then you visualize what you want to see and find out about. For an example, when I started this, Dr. Horowitz told us and showed on his video that the mycoplasma looked like a triangle when he showed the edges, the corners, round, and then he made little lines on each line that looked like hair, and that's what I visualized each time I was looking for mycoplasmas. And when you use the stick, the answer will be no if the stick does not move, or it comes down from a circle and just goes straight. You'll know that's negative. If yes, will be when the stick is circling and the bigger the circle, the more indication it is. That's positive. It's very good to have a picture, and there are pictures on the internet of mycoplasmas. When using muscle testing, the person being tested lifts an arm straight out to the side, creating a right angle, and resists while pressure is exerted moderately. Arm not falling is a no. Arm falling is a yes. My angel that I call my wife, she is my angel, I've mentioned that before. I can even check her to see if after she eats salmon in a restaurant, almost each time she'll get mercury. So I check her after we do that. If she's got mercury, we go through the regimen and get rid of the mercury. She also had the DNA for cancer. With what we do and over a period of time, we have corrected her DNA. She no longer has the DNA for cancer. Recently, she had a skin cancer on her cheek, and it really upset her because it was going to leave a mark, etc. And when I mentioned this to the doctor, she was having a checkup just shortly after they found the cancer, and I asked the doctor why she had cancer, because we had corrected her DNA, and he said, well, it's entirely different inside of the body and outside the body. The outside is subjected to sun, cigarette smoke, and radiation, so it will have a different effect, and cancer can come on the outside. Okay, applied kinesiology. You can go on the internet, you can type in that, you'll pick up a series of things on kinesiology. It talks about the history and the current use and the claims made by people and scientific research about it. You'll find criticism also. You'll find external links to other places to go and check on the applied kinesiology, and there will be a section which I'll tell you about here in a minute. There's one section that you can go to, and they will actually go through pictures and show you how to do muscle testing or kinesiology. Now, this page that I've just finished talking to you about was modified on the 27th of January 2016, so it's rather current. Now, this Dr. Paul T. Spicer, who is a chiropractor, says that you can unlock the secrets of the body with applied kinesiology. And he lists a lot of things that you can find on your body, in your body, your problems. Headaches, tensions, migraines, joint dysfunction, foot and ankle problems, spurs, bunions, tarsal tunnel syndrome, learning disabilities, hyperactivity, ADD, dyslexia, sugar handling problems like diabetes, both type 1 and 2, visual problems, digestive complaints, irritable bowel syndrome, gastroenterology, reflux disorder, and malabsorption syndrome, hearing problems and tinnitus, carpal tunnel syndrome, joint problems, knee pain, shoulder pain, rotator cuff injuries, phobia, general anxiety, disorders and depression, sleep disturbances, sleep apnea, snoring, nutritional counseling and weight loss, allergies, environmental, and food. And then it also asks the question, what is kinesiology? And I'll explain all of that. You can go to the internet and look up the definition of muscle testing. It will give you quite a bit of information on that. You can also, we'll go to an article now that came out in Better Health in February of 2016. That shows a picture of like a big heart pillow, red, and then a big weight has been put on it to push it down, and it said, this is stress. And it says here, stress is a fact of life. That can be a good thing, or giving you the push through you need to meet a work deadline, pack for a trip, or do laundry before you run out of clean underwear. But a steady stream of tension, whether constant fights with a partner or a crushing workload, takes a toll on your health, particularly your heart. Just like high blood pressure or diabetes, stress is a risk factor for health disease because it can cause inflammation and hinder blood flow to the heart. This is a statement by Jennifer H. Myers, MD, Professor of Cardiology at Hofstra North Shore LIJ School of Medicine. And this article gives you some tips on taking care of stress, but it also says one other thing. It says how your heart reacts to stress. Your brain senses danger. Your brain sends a signal to the hypothalamus gland, which sets in motion a physical reaction known as a fight or fright. Your adrenal glands pump out stress hormones, including adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart beats faster, your blood pressure goes up, and you breathe more rapidly. Your body also releases glucose, which is sugar, and fats from storage to give your muscles fuel. This is a force, once you needed this to escape that tiger. Number 4, the crisis passes and your systems turn to normal. But if you're under constant stress, your systems can stay revved up and lead to trouble. Persistently high levels of stress hormones increase inflammation within blood vessels and might contribute to damage and narrowing of the arteries, which can lead to heart attacks and stroke. Now there's other things in this article if you want to pick it up. You can also go look at mycoplasmas. I'm going to spell that for you so that you'll know exactly what to go on the internet with. Just type out MYCOPLASMA and you'll get a whole list of things, and a lot of it comes from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. And it says here that they are a it's a genesis of bacteria that lack a cell wall around their cell membranes. Without a cell wall, they are unaffected by many common antibiotics such as penicillin or other bacteria antibiotics that target cell wall systems. Now, the only way to get the mycoplasmas out, I think I've explained this before, is to find something that can get into the cell, because otherwise your body cannot get them out of the cell. And the two things that we have found are doxycycline and grapefruit seed extract liquid, and only the liquid will work. You can learn how much you need to take when you learn kinesiology, or you find somebody that can do the muscle testing to tell you how much you need to take of the supplements that we recommend that work and are guaranteed, and how much of the natural antibiotic or doxycycline. Doxycycline will not get out mercury and aluminum and the other things that might be in your body. Autoimmune diseases caused by mycoplasmas, there's many of them, as many as 80. There are such things as lupus, which lupus is an allergy to your own blood. What happens is that your body does not know how to fight the microorganisms in your cell. So it creates all these antigens, antibodies, and things to fight these things that it doesn't know what it's doing. Pretty soon, it is fighting its own cell wall, because the mycoplasmas tear off a part of the cell wall when they come out and move around, which is what they do. And when your body tries to fight those, it doesn't know how to fight its own cell wall. So this creates a lot of this fighting to get rid of this intruder. And it also creates the allergy to your own blood. And then pretty soon, we know of one woman, she was the daughter of her neighbor, and she went into a coma from MS, which is one of the autoimmune diseases, and was there for years before she finally died. It's pathetic, some of the things that can happen. All right, Mycoplasma infection is another website you can go to. And it talks about the infections. It shows some pictures of some of the things that are caused by these infections. And then it talks about the mycoplasma again. And it shows a picture. And if you can enlarge that or find a bigger picture to help you with your analysis of finding out if you have the mycoplasmas, that would be good, because you will need to have some kind of image to help you find it. Another webpage you can go to is List All Autoimmune Diseases. And here it lists a lot of them, including RA. I have checked a person with RA and they have the mycoplasmas. And there's a lot about lupus. We've also read in this information that it causes Lyme disease, which is called a tick that causes that, but your body will go into the mycoplasmas. It's just like with the mycoplasma I had, it was the pneumonia, not mycoplasma, and the pneumonia goes through several stages. The pneumococcus goes through several stages, and then into the mycoplasma. Then the mycoplasma centers in a location, generally, maybe one or more. But it's even talking about autoimmune diseases in cats. I had one woman come to me, and her husband ran a dairy in a city a little ways from Twin Falls here. And he said that when they found a cow with fibromyalgia, they had to separate it from the herd. Now that just is an example of how common these things can be. It even talks about multiple sclerosis. And lupus, again, is mentioned many times, but if you go to these websites, you'll find pages after pages of this information that will verify what I'm talking about. Now, in our church, we have a song, and it fits this situation really good. It's apropos, and it says, "Because I have been given much, I too must give. Because of thy great bounty, Lord, each day I live, I shall divide my gifts from thee with every brother that I see, he who has need of help from me. Because I've been sheltered, fed by thy good care, I cannot see another's lack, and I not share. My glowing fire, my loaf of bread, my roof, safe shelter, and overhead, that he too may be comforted. Because I have been blessed by thy great love, dear Lord, I'll share thy love again according to thy word. I shall give love to those in need. I'll show that love by word and deed. Thus shall my thanks be, thanks indeed." I wrote an article called Beat the Junk, and if you want to find this on the YouTube, you can go to Beat the Junk and type, follow it up with fibromyalgia or my name or MS, something like that, and you'll generally come to my website. I said, while on your journey of life, you hit a bump that may slow you down. You think your life is over. You may even pray to die, like I have. If you would just remember God knows best, then you can find a cause and recovery. So put on your fighting spirit, and now you can find your answer. And you can know the way and what you must do. Now you can bless others with your knowledge, as God has asked us to do along our way. Then you will live better and beat your junk. Remember, you must do something the rest of your life. So for the better life, beat the junk. Do it now. Beat the junk. Do it now. Beat the junk. Beat the junk. Beat the junk. I have determined that it's never too late. My son, who got rid of his mycoplasmas, now has them again because it's DNA related. So he has to do the regimen again. Now, as far as stress, my wife, when we lost our house to a Obama's modification program, after we were approved, she had a heart attack from the stress. At the same time, or shortly thereafter, I had MRSA 5 times because of the stress. They had to replace my aortic valve, and because of the lower blood flow to the brain, I had brain damage. Stress is a killer, especially when the immune system is down. Later on, I will consider and possibly do a video on how to clear or cure yourself of mental and physical stress and other things. There were times when I was given answers and I did not know what was happening in my prayers. The man that was helping me learn the kinesiologies told me I had to listen. And when I listened, I got the answers. I later wondered why I was given this information. And after some period of time, I realized God knew I would do something with this information. Now, how do you get the supplements that we use that are guaranteed, that work? I've helped hundreds of people use them, and everybody tells me within a short period of time that they're feeling better. One gal who ran the fibromyalgia group here in this town called me in 3 days and said, "I'm feeling better." And then another time she called me and she said, "I just want to call and tell you how good I feel." She said, "I went in and her husband works at night, his name's Don, and she said, I jumped up and down on the bed and woke him up, and he said, 'What's the matter, what's the matter?' And she said, 'I just want to tell you how good I felt.'" Now you can to get the supplements, you need to email me at twosturgeons@yahoo.com. You have to spell out the word two, not a letter, or not a number, but it has to be TWO Sturgeons, STURGEONS, and then the little A in a circle, yahoo.com. And at that time, give me your phone number, and I'll help you either email your request to obtain the products that we use and that work and are guaranteed, or we can go to or you can come to our website and we will guide you to the website to enroll and set up your account. You will need a credit card or a checking account so you can order. You will be preferred and receive wholesale prices. The cost currently is $29.99, sometimes it's free. There's different changes here and there, but I've never seen it over $29.99. Plus tax, and you will receive a kit also. Remember, you need to do something the rest of your life. I've been using these products since 1985. You can email me with your phone number, then I can call you and set up a conference call and enroll you on express verification. Or you can also enroll on the internet, and I will need you to email me your phone number to contact you with the information. In either case, we will need your information. Remember, twosturgeons@yahoo.com. Now here's a big one. I'm going to have to possibly repeat what I've said in the past, but again, here is one of the big items of this whole program, and that is to pray. But again, you have to have faith and hope to do anything. I'm going to give you a little example of a prayer. I'm going to call it your prayer. Father in heaven, bless me with thy spirit and forgive me for my transgressions. Bless me in my efforts to overcome my health problems. Bless me to know when I receive revelation, to be able to help myself, and bless me with the strength and ability to be able to help myself. Bless me to know that this information is true. I thank thee for these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Remember, this is a self-help program, but you can ask God for help also. Have faith and hope. Thank you.